The alien princess stood in shock when she discovered her savior was human. Zara could not believe her eyes. The creature before her was small, with soft skin and no protective scales. She had heard stories about humans but never thought she would meet one. Her long purple fingers trembled as she reached out. The human female named Kate stepped back, unsure of the tall alien woman. The spaceship had crashed in the forest behind her farm. She had seen the flash of light and smoke rising through the trees. Kate was not the type to ignore someone in need, even if that someone had blue skin and glowing eyes. Their worlds had been at war for 20 years. Humans were seen as dangerous and unpredictable on Zara's planet. Yet here was this human, helping her out of the crashed scout ship without asking for anything in return. Zara felt pain shoot through her leg. The fall had broken something. She hissed words in her native language, words that did not translate well to human ears. Kate moved closer despite her fear. She wrapped an arm around the alien princess to support her weight. Zara was surprised at the strength in the small human body. They moved slowly through the forest back toward the farmhouse. The night air was cold on Earth, colder than Zara was used to. She shivered, her crest flattening against her head in distress. Kate noticed and took off her jacket, placing it around the alien's shoulders. It was too small, but the gesture made Zara's second heart beat faster. No one had shown her kindness like this before. The farmhouse was simple but warm inside. Kate helped Zara to sit on a soft chair, then went to get medical supplies. Zara looked around at the strange human dwelling. The walls were covered with pictures of Kate with other humans, all smiling. There were small decorations everywhere, so different from the clean, empty spaces of royal rooms on her planet. When Kate returned with bandages and medicine, Zara tried to explain who she was. She pressed the royal seal on her wrist guard. The hologram flickered, showing her family crest and her place in the royal line. Kate's eyes widened in understanding. This was no ordinary alien. This was royalty from the enemy. The radio in the corner of the room buzzed. With news reports, military forces were searching for a crashed alien ship. Kate glanced at it, then back at Zara. She made a decision, turning the volume down. She would not turn the princess in. The two women stared at each other, both breaking rules of their people by being in the same room together, both choosing compassion over fear. Days passed while Zara's leg healed. She learned about Earth from Kate, about simple things like cooking food and growing plants. She taught Kate about her world, the beautiful floating cities and the history of her people. They found common ground despite their differences. Kate kept Zara hidden from neighbors and soldiers who came asking questions. She risked everything to protect someone she had been taught to hate. Zara wondered why this human would do such a thing. One night, as they sat watching the stars through the window, Zara asked the question that had been on her mind. Kate thought for a moment before answering. She said that wars began because people feared what they did not understand. She believed that if more humans and aliens met as friends instead of enemies, perhaps the fighting could end. Zara thought of her father, the king, and his hatred for humans. She thought of all she had been taught about these creatures. Yet here she was sharing a home with one, finding more in common than different. A message came through on Zara's wrist device. Her people had tracked her location. A rescue ship would arrive soon. She should have felt relief. Instead, she felt sadness at the thought of leaving Kate. The night before the ship was to arrive, Kate took Zara outside to see fireflies. Their soft glow reminded Zara of the sacred light bugs on her planet. They watched in silence as the small creatures danced in the air. Zara made a decision. She would tell her father about Kate. She would work to end the war between their worlds. It would not be easy. Many would resist the idea of peace. But she was royal. Her voice carried weight. The rescue ship landed in the same field where Zara had crashed. Kate stood back as alien guards surrounded their princess. They looked at the human with suspicion, hands on weapons. Zara spoke sharply in her language. The guards lowered their weapons. She turned to Kate, taking the human's hands in her own. She promised to return. She would build a bridge between their worlds as the ship rose into the night sky. Kate watched until it was only a dot among the stars. She did not know if she would ever see Zara again. But something had changed that night. something important had begun. 6 months later, a large ship appeared in Earth's sky, not with weapons, but with a message of peace. The alien princess stood on screens across the world next to her father, the king. She spoke of understanding and friendship. She spoke of a human named Kate who had saved her life and changed her view of humans. Kate watched from her farmhouse smiling as the first step toward peace was taken. All because an alien princess and a human farmer had seen each other as people, not as enemies. Change often begins with just two people brave enough to question what they have been taught. Zara and Kate had started something that would echo across both their worlds for generations to come.